Hello guys, in today's video we will break down how to build your lineups. I will talk about combinations and what heroes align with the other and how to make sure your lineup is making a good combo in order to beat your enemies. There is a lot of combination now with a lot of heroes being added to the game, so let's break them down and let's see what's the best for you and how to pick your legends according to your artifacts and your combos. So please make sure you leave a like, subscribe, and make sure you join our Discord, the link in the description. And for now, enjoy the video. So guys, right now in the game we have a lot of new heroes and there is a lot of combinations and a lot of lineups that will work and provide you a good strategy in the game and you can beat others. So there is 4 main things that you need to pay attention to. First of all, you need some tanks in your lineup, and then you need some support which can heal or provide for your team or debuffs for the enemies. There is some attacks and DPS that you can deal using fresh attack damage. And then there is mage attacks, which is mage damage. Both of these are considered as ranged damage. So if you see bonuses for ranged damage, it will boost both of these. So back to the lineups. In order to build your perfect lineup, there is multiple main elements that you need to look for. First of all, you need to control the fight. So this is the battlefield. In order to control the fight, you need to make sure this line, if we're here, you are controlling it and pushing the other enemies. Don't get pushed and cornered to your side, because if you get to your side, you will immediately start getting DPS'd, controlled, and destroyed. So one of the best heroes to control the fight is having Dark Knight, because all his lineup is considering having knockback resist. So you need a lot of knockback resist. So one of the best front lines is having Dark Knight, and with him you can mix with Paladin, you can mix with Masked Ninja, you can mix with Panda, with Whirlpool Ninja, and that's mainly all the good front lines. So if you want to pick front line, you should go one of these. These are the best front lines. In my opinion, you should always play Dark Knight and then mix it with someone else, but never give up on Dark Knight. So this is mandatory to have, and then you can mix it with anyone else, because Dark Knight is so OP and he is the meta all the time. So once you pick what lineup you will need, and you need to pick 2 of them, Dark Knight and Paladin, Dark Knight and Panda, Dark Knight and Whirlpool, whatever you want. In this video, we will go with Dark Knight and Paladin. These 2, now you have your front line is popping off. Now you need to add some of the DPS for it. So you will need to find some DPS. Here we go with Levi is good, Shadow Master, Gunslinger. These 3 are the best ranged or marksmen that you can play. Pilot is okay, but in late game he can cause a lot of issues. These are more consistent and they give a lot of more buffs. In my opinion, the best one to have is Gunslinger, and then you can either go with Shadow Master or Levi. Both of them are strong enough to compete in endgame, but Gunslinger for me will always be my favorite one. So let's say we picked Gunslinger. And then in Mage, you have multiple options again. You have Witch, you have Abyssal Queen, you have Foxy, and some people use Dragon, but in my opinion, with all the new buffs and shit, it's not worth playing the Dragon in endgame. He can serve you in previous, mid-game or early game. So this is the 3 main powerful Mage. In my opinion, I will go with Witch, and that's for some reasons that are debuffs. She has a lot of things that she provides for the team. If we look at her artifact, this one, the Witch Dictator strikes fear into the enemies. Increase all enemy heavy injury effect by 50%. This will make sure the enemies cannot heal. It's anti-heal. If you read here, I will explain it. Heavy injury, this reduces target healing effect. This one is so important, especially that a lot of people now using the Arcane Saint, and if they are using Holy Healer, and especially if they are using Paladin. Once you have Witch in your lineup, you are countering all the heals that they have. So back to the lineups. As we said, I will go with the Witch, and that's a good combination. And Dark Knight, Gunslinger, and Paladin. And then you are left with, you need one support. For the support, you have a lot of options. First of all, you have Arcane Saint, which is dominating right now, followed up by Silence, and then you have Holy Healer and Warlock and Snow Woman. In my opinion, Diva is not for end game. She is good until mid game, and she is so useful in PvM and pushing like Gate of Darkness and all these events. But in PvP, I think Arcane Saint will dominate, followed up by the Silence, and Snow Woman can be a great addition if you want. But in my opinion, just invest in Arcane Saint. These are like the best ones. I will try to give you lineups that combine all of them now. That's explaining all the heroes and what you should pick. And for me, the best lineup right now is to play this with this, Arcane Saint, Gunslinger, and Witch. That's lineup number 1. You can play also Dark Knight with a Masked Ninja. You can play with a Witch Dictator, and then you can put Holy Healer because you are trying to push. This guy will push a lot. With Holy Healer, he will use the pool, and then you have the Witch to kill them, and then you can use with them someone who deals a lot of damage to everyone, which is like Shadow Master. Also, you can combine it with Gunslinger, but Shadow Master works better here because he deals damage to everyone, and Witch deals damage to everyone too. So you can play this lineup too. With Holy Healer will be the pool that will destroy everyone. You can also utilize in removing the Holy Healer and put Snow Woman. If you have Mythic Artifact for her, you will put Freezing on the front lines and you will make sure you are pushing the enemies. That's another lineup that you can work with. Another lineup that works, Warlock with Holy Healer, and then you need to put this guy, Dark Knight with this, and then you need only to put Witch, or you can remove this and you put Paladin. This works too, as long as you are pushing enemies and then utilizing Witch, because she deals a lot of DPS on burst stacked enemies, and Holy Healer will use his pool to make sure everyone is dying. That's another lineup that can work. You can also work with having Gunslinger, Dark Knight with Paladin and Saint, and then you don't use this, you can use Abyssal Queen. But again, remember that there is no anti-heals. You can also play 3 DPS and put like this. You can also remove Gunslinger and play like this. And then you can add like Silence or maybe Saint. The main element, as you see guys, as we playing around, is to have at least 2 front lines that are tanking, and then you need always Witch. Almost 99% of the time you need Witch to make sure you are reducing the heals from the enemies. That's why she is always there, and then you can combine other combination. But yeah, if you want to use Holy Healer, make sure you are pushing the enemies, so make sure you are using Warlock, make sure you are using Masked Ninja. These 3 should always go together, maybe like this also, maybe this 4 of them, and then you can put 1 DPS. That's how to build your combo. If you want to move around and play around, you can use Panda and Masked Ninja, but in my opinion you will lose a lot of DPS and a lot of heals by removing Dark Knight. I know I talked a lot and trying to explain it so you guys can build your own lineups, but if you focus, you will always need Dark Knight, you will always need another frontline with him as we talked, and then you need to put support, which is one of these 3, and then you need 1 DPS, 1 Mage, and you're set to go. In my opinion, these like the most popular lineups. Some people trying new combinations, like some people using Fan just because she gives more DPS and more knockback resist. But in my opinion, in long run, you always need the main lineup, which is everyone using, like this and like this. This is like right now the best lineup in the game. But yeah, let me know in the comment sections if you have other things. In the next video, I will try explain to you how to use your pets to align it with your lineup and how to make sure you're having the maximum benefits from all the pets on your lineup. So yeah, thank you for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, and drop down in the comment section what lineup are you running right now. And make sure to check my Discord, the link in the description. We have a small community there growing, but we all helping each others and sharing our experiences. Until then, have a good one.